John Durham is legitimately knocking on the White House door now with Jake Sullivan. Jake Sullivan being the national security advisor for Joe Biden. Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor for Joe Biden, is implicated inside of the Russia probe. Let's say it again. The top national security official in our government was named in charging documents by John Durham for being a Russian asset, for shopping around Russian disinformation about Donald Trump. Let that sink in for a second. Now go ahead and watch the updates on exactly how bad this is getting for the Biden regime and exactly how close John Durham may be to opening up that White House door and coming a knocking for Jake Sullivan. Listen to this.
He was Clinton's deputy chief of staff during Benghazi. He also forwarded sensitive information to her private email account. On the list goes KT McFarland, former deputy national security advisor to President Trump, author of the book Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People. KT, good morning to you. You believe this screams conflict of interest. You have the floor. How come?
All right, first of all, the Attorney General's counsel, special assistant, who is overseeing the investigation that John Durham is making, is Jake Sullivan's wife. So the wife is overseeing the investigation that potentially includes her husband, number one. Number two.
Do you want to know how deep the swamp goes? You want to know why you should never take a Republican seriously who doesn't say we need to uproot the entire system? We need to break up Washington, D.C.? Did you just hear that? We looked it up this morning. Jake Sullivan's wife, his wife, is in charge of the Durham investigation, in charge of the special counsel. Jake Sullivan's wife is a longtime Merrick Garland political hack, Merrick Garland aide and adjunct. This is legitimately serious corruption, people. Serious corruption. And if we had any honest media in this damn country, people would be losing their minds over this. But no, instead, James O'Keefe's office gets raided by the FBI and it gets leaked to the New York Times. Yeah, all right. Jake Sullivan, the guy who was in charge and implicated in the leaking and distribution of the dossier, his wife is in charge of the investigation into the dossier? Ladies and gentlemen, we need to freak out over this.
Jake Sullivan was known. I mean, it was an open secret that Jake Sullivan was the one during the 2016 campaign and then after the 2016 election who was feeding the media all sorts of information about Donald Trump collusion, Steele dossier. Donald Trump never would have won the election unless he had had help with the Russians. So he was out there feeding what he presumably, now we know, that it was a big lie. He would have known it was a big lie.
If this was an open secret, did Mueller interview him? Do we know that answer?
So this is the key question, Bill. Was he interviewed? Was he interviewed during the Hillary email scandal? Was he then interviewed during the Russiagate with a Mueller investigation? There would have been 2 times where he would have been on record. You know, anybody can lie to the press. That's not a crime. Politicians do it all the time. Did he lie to the FBI? Because if they now have texts of emails that go between the man who has just been indicted for lying to the FBI about Russiagate and the Steele dossier, if there are email proof that Jake Sullivan knew that the whole Steele dossier was a lie, maybe he was one of the architects of the Steele dossier on which the Mueller investigation and Russiagate and all the things that destroyed people's lives and tried to sabotage the Trump presidency, was he in on it?
Yeah, you know, KT,
I then look at the job he's done. He's a lousy job.
Let me come back to that. I watched you with Martha the other day, and you're a passionate person, but the passion just was coming off the screen in a way that, you know, we seldom see. This Russia hoax.
Is this a double mask? Can I stop here for a second? Is he wearing a double mask? Look at how tight those are around his face. Look at that. You can like see his face getting smushed by the mask. Look at how tight that is. Look at this guy. This guy's a freak. This guy's a freak. He looks like a wet toothpick. He looks like a chewed on toothpick that's been spit out after your dad leaves Outback Steakhouse or Texas Roadhouse. That's what this guy looks like. He looks like a chewed on toothpick. He acts like one too. What a slob.
It cost you your livelihood, and it cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And now it looks like, I mean, there's a few indictments, few charges here and there, but everything else, I don't know, KT. It looks like a lot of people are going to skate on this. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, it's really hard, Bill. I mean, it's hard personally because, as you say, my career was destroyed. We're hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. You know, my reputation was in tatters. The only job I ever wanted in Washington was to be National Security Advisor, and that was ripped up. And it was why? Because of the big lie. So it hurts on a personal level if these guys just skate away with it and get away with it. But frankly, it hurts on a national level. You know, who are they to take a duly elected president of the United States and organize a coup against him? And to work with the Washington establishment and the sort of insiders in Washington, the people whose names you don't even know, the permanent bureaucrats, the media, and they get away with it. I mean, how dare they take democracy and toss it around like it's a toy and something that perpetuates their own importance? That's what really hurts at the end of the day.
Well stated. That's Washington, D.C. for you. KT, thank you for your time. We'll speak again very soon, okay? Thanks.
It is a masterpiece, a masterclass in the wrap-up smear, which is the creation of a lie and then the marketing and merchandising of that lie through the media, with the media's understanding that that's what they're doing. The media understands that they're lying. They're working with Jake Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen. This jackass's wife is now in charge of the dossier of the Durham investigation. Vis-a-vis, she is the adjunct for Merrick Garland in the DOJ. You got to know how deep this swamp goes? The person who's implicated in the lying of the dossier is now in charge. Does that make any sense to you? I wonder how that's going to work out. I wonder if someone's going to skate by on this. Donald Trump is not the true victim of Russiagate. You are the true victim of Russiagate. Your vote. Did you even vote for Donald Trump? I don't care. The principle remains the same. You're the victim because what they did was say that your vote doesn't matter. Your will doesn't matter. If you elect a man or a woman, that person should get a chance to govern. And if they suck at governing, like Biden does, then they should get thrown the hell out. And then we, the people, grab them by the scruff of the neck and chuck them into the Potomac. But that didn't happen here. Donald Trump was never given a chance to govern. Donald Trump's people were never given a chance to do their jobs. It was endless, ceaseless, constant questions about Russia, constant questions about the Russia investigation. This investigation hanging over everybody's head. Robert Mueller having $30 million worth of taxpayer funding to go and sabotage this administration, kneecap this administration, and they got nothing out of it. Nothing. No collusion. Here we are, finding out that it was a filthy trick by these rats, these parasitical cockroaches, living inside the swamp with their own damn wives in charge of the investigation now. An investigation into them. Hillary Clinton colludes with Russia in order to steal an election from you, in order to rig an election against you. Sorry, the real victim isn't Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a fan of Trump. I like Trump. But he ain't the victim here. The real victim is us. The good-hearted, tax-paying American people who thought this was our country. Thank you for watching. We are 100% independent news. Are you sick of being lied to? We certainly are. That's why we started this channel. But we can't do it without you. We can't keep going without your help. All we ask is that you click like and subscribe and share this video. It's free. And it keeps us going, it keeps us growing, and it keeps us getting the truth out there to break the rotted corporate media infrastructure that wants to lie to you every single day, wants to corrupt your narratives, your truth, your story, and your very society. So support us by clicking like, clicking subscribe, and thank you, Patriots.